So now we have to move on to our other topic. This is the part of discussions from House of Representatives and Senate. This is from National Assembly and also a directive that came from President Bola Tinubu, and that's the suspension of cybersecurity levy. A lot of Nigerians were outraged that perhaps once again the government is trying to get their unearned money from them, because from calculations made from a transaction of 5,000 naira, what could be left for one might be like 4,500 naira or 4,600 naira or thereabouts. Well, thankfully, the president intervened in this and it has been suspended for now. That is a cybersecurity levy that was supposed to be paid to the Office of the National Security, that's the ONSA. So now, let me ask, what is your opinion of this? Okay, first of all, let us look at the issue of the cybersecurity levy. Is it something that perhaps if it were fine-tuned and amended, is something that all Nigerians should be able to get on board with the plan because of the numerous benefits we are supposed to get from it, or is something that should not even stay in the first place and is just a means of robbing the masses of their hard-earned money?
Yeah, you see, we need to be careful and be guided by the law and what we say. You see, the cyber security, is it a fund or deduction?
Yes.
Which directive was given to the money deposit banks to take effect with immediate effect. They said cyber security fund is backed up by law. And the legislators at the National Assembly, they were the initiators and they were the ones that passed it to law, which was accordingly appended by maybe the then government, the then president or the present president. We're good and fine. But you see, let us look at it from one angle. Immediately the circular was passed, a lot of Nigerians complained. The well-meaning Nigerians complained, the activists complained, the farmers complained, everybody complained. Fine. And the members of the National Assembly who even thought that they may be one way or the other affected because they have money in banks. So they too, they swing into action. And from what I read in media this morning and some printed media this morning, I discovered that the number one citizen had given a directive that it should be put on hold. Pending stakeholders will meet, then further deliberations will be looked at. I think that is a fine decision of the government. And that shows that the government has a listening ear. And I can say, having done that, the government must have looked at that act and discovered that there are some errors there, which ought to be addressed before such a law becomes effective in the country. And I think within the next few days, the government may take further steps about it. You see, there's what they call a student loan initiative there, which was signed. And after some opera here and there, the government also re-forwarded that bill to the National Assembly for possible amendment, which was done. I think this issue of cyber security will not be an exception to that. Because looking at it, if the government is trying to make money from that angle, it may not be out of place. But who and whose money will be deducted for that purpose? Is it the woman selling groundnut all the way in Ajasaipo and who has maybe 20,000 naira in bank and wants to transfer 2,000 naira to his son who is schooling in Ado-Ekiti, that he want to be deducting such money from his account? Or the man who is a fisherman all the way to Upe in Ilaje in Ondo State, who has less than 50,000 naira in his account, who wants to transfer just 5,000 naira to his son who is in an institution in Ondo town, that want to be deducting such money from his account? I think the National Assembly should quickly look into that law, and the presidency also should look into that law with a view to make some amendment. And if at all is going to take place, I think the percentage mentioned, they say 5%. I think that 5% is on the high side. On the high side in the sense that, number one, look at it. If you are transferring, let's say, your child's tuition fee in Oxford University is maybe it's $3,000 or £3,000. You convert it to Nigerian currency, to be transferred down there, and they are going to take 5%. You know the meaning? You know what it means? So I think that percentage should be brought down drastically. Nothing bad if it is 1%. It's not out of place. Multiply it. 1% of such transaction in Nigeria in a day is billions of naira. Let's decide it ourselves. Nobody is a mumu in this country. That 5%, with due respect, lawmakers in the National Assembly be brought to 1%. And the category of persons to be affected should be noted. Not, it shouldn't apply to everybody. Okay, like a child who is maybe in a university in Ogun State there, maybe is less than maybe 18 years old, who has like maybe 2,000 rand in his account, just we call it pocket money. And his relation, his younger one called her at home and say, "Come, my sister, I don't have anything to eat this afternoon. Can you please send me 500?" And the student decided to send 500 naira via electronic bills. And you are still going to charge. That thing should be looked at critically. And if possible, if there is a way it could be stepped down, it will not be out of place as well. It will still be beneficial to the country. But if the government decides that, okay, we want to make some funds there for the progress of the country, the percentage should be looked into, and the section and subsections of that law, of that act, should also be reviewed or probably amended to pave way for smooth compliance with that law. So that, because let me tell you the implication of this. If all these things are not addressed as highlighted, I bet you, some people will abandon going to banks. They will prefer to come and pay you cash. And you know the implication? Because you know, if I transfer money, they will take 5%. Why can't I go and give him his money directly? So that is the issue. That is the issue. So the government should think deeply about it, so that life will not be made difficult to us, or for us rather. So that when we say we are enjoying the government should not use that opportunity to pull down our resources and empty our pocket. Look at it. If you deposit money with all the money deposit bank, they collect some money, they say SMS, they say maintenance charges, stamp duty, they will say routine check. Go add the money together. All those SMS for 4 naira, 100 naira, add it together. A bank that has like 7 million customers. Add it together, 4 times 7, 4 million. Or, okay, 4 times 7 million customers. You know what it means? So the banks are making a lot of money from that angle. So definitely the government should look into it. Don't make like don't let us run away from banks. Okay, make it easy for us.
Do you even think that this is something that the federal government need to take on themselves? Because when we are looking at cybersecurity levy, yes, this is something that has to do with like banks themselves having adequate firewall to prevent all the cyber criminals.
Yes.
So should it not be mandated on banks, but it's not something that the citizens themselves should be paying for? Because since we're already paying all this levy, we are assuming that all our money should be well catered for from the bank itself. So if the banks are already taking care of their cyberspace, why should the federal government too want to do something? That is it like an extra backup?
Don't worry. You see, these people, they are highly intelligent. I call them ogologbos. Now, I'm sorry to use that language. Now, let's decide ourselves. If a bank is charging me maintenance fee every month, and you still mention cybersecurity, what are you cyber? What are you securing? So from that maintenance, can they take such money from it? What security? What are they securing? So if bank customers are paying what they call maintenance every month on their account, I think that suffices. Now the idea of saying you are still deducting it for cybersecurity, that was why I mentioned it earlier on, that the government should review it or view it, and if possible, do away with it. That was why I used that language. The government can do away with it. The government suffers no injury, and the bank suffers no injury. You have been charging customers maintenance fee every month. You have been collecting money for SMS. You have been when you apply for a checkbook, do you know how much they take for your checkbook? They count it. Is it 50 sheets or 100 sheets? They charge you, you pay for it. What are you securing again? By the time the banks are licensed, haven't they fulfilled some conditions before such license is granted? And okay, when the license become operational, the banks or the commercial or the money deposit bank would have also fulfilled some conditions. Then why all this 5%, 2%, 3% to do what? To who? For who? What are they going to use it for?
Okay, let us look at this initiative away from the cybersecurity levy,
yeah,
like what it is said that it is going to be used for. But let us look at it plainly. From calculations, speculations really,
yeah,
it is envisaged that they should be making hundreds of billions in a month.
Yeah, sure.
To cater for just getting money from Nigerians who might be paying, who might be transferring money or receiving money,
yeah,
in their bank account. Could we not have an initiative like this, but rather for it going for something that it is mostly untraceable? Could we not use it for development? Because we have refineries that, well, it is said that the last budget already accounted for reconstructing them for maintenance and all that,
yeah,
but we've still not seen the results. What if we had a scenario where monies like this are actually deducted and then it is used for something that would be for the betterment of all Nigerians?
yeah.
Do you think an initiative like that might be welcomed, or it's something that should be charged through another means, probably like tax?
Let's be sincere with ourselves. The customers to the commercial, what do you call the money deposit banks, they pay tax. The civil servant pay. The non-civil servant also pay. Now, if you are now charging for cyber security, that's what would I call that one? That should be double taxation. That is it. Now, we are Nigerians. We know Nigerians a lot. Nigerians, they take undue advantage. There was a time they introduced this stamp duty something. All of a sudden, I read it in the media print that something happened to the money. The stamp duty money deducted by banks. Some banks did not remit, this did not, this did that. Now, this cyber security something will not be out of place when it comes to that area. Similar thing they happen to read. So instead of us to be, our funds to be deducted, and one set of persons who gather themselves in one corner and be spending that money, it's not fair. It's not fair. The government may mean good for us, but the lieutenants may not think that way. Majority of them, they think about their family and themselves. That is the major problem we have in Nigeria. Now, if the government means well, what about the lieutenants? Some persons are saying these are not good. When they now bring some set of people there, those people being brought there, they are even worse than the persons sent away. That is the problem we are facing. We have ministers in this country, and we are having ministers. And we knew what happened during the then ministers. And we know what is happening during this ministerial appointment and occupation and performance. So, what are we saying? If we are going to be in that line of, say, take customers' money to develop the country, it should be a gradual process. It's not a thing of rush. It's not a thing you plan in a day and you implement in a day. It will crash. It's a gradual process. Involve the stakeholders, the bankers, the accountants, the engineers, the doctors, the pharmacists. Let them sit together, let them sit down, brainstorm on that law, and look at the effects and defects of that act. If the act is too harsh, it could be amended. If it is not too harsh, it could make it to be balanced. It can make it to be equilibrium. Then by then we'll be able to get what we want. Not that I just bring one law. Let me tell you, safe, legal-minded persons in this country, 85% of Nigerians are not aware of that law, existence of that law. 85% are not aware of that cyber security. It was when the news came, people started looking for laws of the Federation of Nigeria and started reading it and say, hey, is this law, this law, this law? That is the problem we have in this country. So what you are not aware, why would they bring it and say you must comply with it? Things are not done that way. Nigeria, don't make Nigeria to be a Jankara country. Know that you are dealing with intelligent person. But thank God for number one citizens of this country who quickly say, hey, stop that for now. That is a normal way of doing things. Let us have a look at it. Good and fine. You just wanted to be deducting all our funds in the bank. that you have money there before you know the money. Now this day, you know what this commercial the money deposit banks are doing. When you have your fund there and say you leave the money there, when they start deducting, you discover that money will just, now one day you see zero there. Then where are we going?
All right.